it's Omicron. Falcon hates puns and thinks that they're all wrong. One's American and one is an Aussie. Talking about StarCraft 2 and the esports scene.
Now, welcome to the podcast. All right, well, thank you for being a guest on the Falcon Paladin Hour this week, Omicron.
What?
I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to join me on this episode.
Is this some sort of bit?
Nope, not a bit, not at all, not even a little bit.
Not
Ow,
even a little.
That hurt. That physically hurt me.
Hey man, you said it, not me.
I know. I saw it coming, and I did it anyway, and I paid the price. Anyway, no. I don't know. How many people are listening to this for the first time? They're like, oh,
6.
that's interesting. Falcon has a guest. I don't know. Who is this guy? I probably don't know who he is. Or maybe he does, and he's like, wait a second. It's Omicron.
I'm apparently a guest.
Apparently.
I'll take it.
We should do a poll. We should do a poll of I don't know how we would do it though. It's like, if you know who Falcon Paladin is, do you also know who Omicron is? Or do you know who Omicron is and you don't know who Falcon Paladin is?
I mean,
that would be an interesting poll.
I guess that poll would also determine who's the host and who's the co-host.
Exactly, it would.
Yeah.
Because that is the question right now.
Are you vying
It is
for
up in the
power?
air.
Is that what's happening here?
I'm
Is
trying
this
to
a
stage
coup?
A coup?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, I had a joke in the shower this morning, which is, what would a pigeon have to do to seize power? A coup d'etat?
Oof, brutal. Yep. It didn't hurt me as much, but it was brutal nevertheless. Oh.
It's great.
All right. Yes, it is. All right. Well, what I wanted to talk about today actually is a bit more of a somber topic. I guess I probably shouldn't have started out with a bit or a joke, but man, by the time you hear this, maybe more details will be out about In Control's death, but maybe not. Yeah, so Sunday, July 21st, I'm just like, casting some games, being on Discord, la la la. And then somebody shares a tweet from In Control's account in my Discord server, link in the description. And it's basically saying that Geoff Robinson, also known as In Control, has passed on. And I'm like, what? Wait a second. Last I checked, he was in the hospital for an infection, and he didn't travel to Home Story Cup because of that. But I was just talking to him in the Pylon Show Discord server like 48 hours, less than 48 hours before I saw this tweet. And man, it hit me. It hit me hard. So with immense grief, we announced Geoff's unexpected passing due to sudden illness on Saturday. We asked for privacy as his family works to understand what happened and make arrangements. I mean, that sentence right there is absolutely just heart-wrenching. Like, what happened? We lost a loved one, and we don't know what happened at the time of this tweet, which is just like...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes it worse. Like with Total Biscuit, it was without a doubt a tragedy. We lost a huge member of the esports community, StarCraft in particular. But like, he had cancer. I mean, it happens. People with cancer die. We'd had a long time to kind of get prepared for the fact that he might. And it hurt a lot to lose him, but it wasn't like this, where we knew Geoff was in the hospital and he was mildly ill, but now he gone. And it's like, I don't even... It's been a day since that, and I still can't quite process this whole thing. And obviously don't know what happened because, again, family might not know what happened, so how am I supposed to? But yeah, and it just struck me as a huge thing because, again, I mean, I don't have a relationship with In Control at all. I'm going to tell a story later on about our first interaction, but like, we weren't friends at all. He definitely did have a lot of friends. A lot of people on Twitter are expressing and telling stories of their relationship with this guy and what he meant to StarCraft and everything else. And I'm not one of those people. I didn't feel like I belong there. But He was in the Pylon Show Discord server. Somebody was talking about how, Twitch chat is always trying to correct these pro players and saying what mistakes they made, and how valid is that criticism, and does somebody need to be a professional level player to actually understand the game at the level to recognize a mistake? And he came in and he gave his opinion, and he was fairly brash about it, like he usually is. And he seemed fine. He seemed like everything was cool. And he had just tweeted a couple days ago about his plans for the rest of the summer. He was saying how, like, he's going to Southern California and Sweden, Serbia. He's going to Utah for something. I don't know what that was for. He had plans for September, too, to go to Germany and Atlanta. And he had plans on July 19th, and then by July 21st, he was gone. So whatever happened, it just really brings into stark relief everybody's mortality. If somebody who is consciously planning for huge things doesn't see it coming, and then bam, it hits like a truck. I don't know. Like, none of us are any different from him. So, like, hug your loved ones, I guess, is the general message that I've been taking from this, and people have also been expressing on Twitter and other places.
Yeah. Give him a big old
Yeah.
hug.
Yeah, because you never know. You really don't. I'm trying to think if this is... I don't know. Is this the equivalent of him just dying in a car crash? Because, that happens all the time. Tons of people die in car crashes every day.
Yeah. That fits.
Okay.
Yeah. Just, it with Total Biscuit, it was like, okay, we knew that this was in his future, like,
Yeah.
and it was coming, and it was, you can't run from it. But now, with In Control, another person I've never met, but was hugely influential for me in StarCraft, it just doesn't feel real. It's like, oh, yeah. I'm waiting to wake up, or is it April 1st, and this is just a prank gone wrong, but it's not.
Yeah, it's like the next episode of the Pylon Show he'll be on, like, obviously, because he has been,
Right.
And he is one of those personalities, too, where you can almost see it, where he would tweet something like that as some weird joke. Almost, but not quite. I don't know.
It's like,
so anyway.
It's like I'm expecting, like, in a couple of days, I'm going to turn on and sit down and watch the Sunfall Cycle D&D campaign that he was on, and, he's going to be there. He will, because it's the Sunfall Cycle, and he's there. But he's not.
Yeah, or play some Warhammer, like, there's stuff that he loves and he's involved in, and he always will be,
Yeah. And then it's like, it's almost, like, selfish, but I'm just thinking, In Control isn't going to be casting at WCS, like, at BlizzCon this year. And I don't know what a BlizzCon without In Control really should feel like.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to think about.
No, it's definitely not. I don't know. People come and go. People leave the StarCraft scene to do other stuff. We've seen that. But that's different. Obviously, they go on to do other careers, other games maybe. But this is, he's gone, period. Like Day 9. Day 9 does Magic the Gathering and other stuff now, but he's around. He's still around. He's still on Twitch. He had a nice stream today where he talked about his memories of Geoff, and he's one of those people that have known Geoff since the beginning,
Yeah.
So he had some good stories. It was nice to have him weigh in, but that's just the thing. Like, if something like this happens, we're not going to have Geoff around to weigh in. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
So, blah. What a bad year. What a bad year for StarCraft. Like, stars, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess I'll tell my story. I think I've shared this on the Discord maybe once or twice, but I don't know that I've really put it out there for mass consumption. I'm not convinced this podcast counts either, but
Thanks.
So I was at PAX, Penny Arcade Expo, Gaming Expo in Washington back in 2013. It was a while ago, and they had a StarCraft booth set up. And Geoff was over there, and he was playing 1v1s versus randos who came up to the booth and wanted to challenge a professional player, like you do. And so I waited in line for like an hour to play against him, and he was not losing. He wasn't poning fools. He wasn't just crushing people immediately. He was kind of playing with his food a bit and maybe letting people feel like they had a better chance of beating him than they did. And then, around the 10 or 12 minute mark, he just ruined them. But it was all in fun. And so I get up there, and basically the announcer at the booth is like, all right, well, we're going to just have a couple more games here because we're going to take a lunch break, and Jeff's been playing for a while, so just be aware of that. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I log on, and I'm Zerg, and I think he played random and got Terran. And he proceeds to, clinically bunker rush me to death in about 2.5 minutes. I was salty. I was so mad that all these other people had this experience of, I'm holding my own in a macro game versus in control. This is great. And he was just like, you know what? I'm hungry. Bam. This guy's dead. And I mean, it was one of the more helpless feelings I've ever had in my entire life in StarCraft. I worker scouted him and I saw what he was doing and I was helpless to stop it.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those moments that really set home to me that there is a different stratosphere these professional players are at, and that I am nowhere close to that. And it would take so much work to even approach that that level of StarCraft 2 play.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those moments where you look at them and you go, oh, people aren't being hyperbolic or hyperbole or whatever the word is, when they say that people who play at the professional level are like gods at this game.
Yeah,
right?
Without question.
And In Control is definitely up there. Like, he didn't, these days he wasn't playing quite that well, but he was definitely a transcendent being in terms of personality and what that meant to the community.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have made the point that Geoff could be, Day9 called him prickly.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a couple of videos going around of him just laying into Twitch chat, just being like, you in Twitch chat, you're being a raging moron. Let me explain in explicit detail what's wrong with you, right?
Right.
He was not afraid to do that at all. He would go after people that he cast with and give them a hard time. Certain level of truth in the things that he was saying, but also good-natured ribbing. It was this weird combination. It was this line that he walked of being a super nice guy and being like, I am going to tell you the truth of how I feel about you right now,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, that was him. And obviously, just back to my story, he was not worried about hurting my feelings by absolutely destroying me. That's just who he was. He was a person, and he wasn't a saint, and nobody is. But it sure sounds like a lot of people are coming forward with stories of I went to compete at this event, and In Control was there, and I was a wreck, and he took time out of his crazy busy schedule to just sit down and talk to me for 20 minutes and make me feel better about myself,
Mm.
So he was one of those people that's definitely willing to do that, and I respect that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's gone. I don't mean the most visible thing in the StarCraft community he's been doing has obviously been the Pylon show, just on a week-to-week basis.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what they're going to do. Obviously, it's been Artosis and In Control running that show. So I don't know if In Control is going to find a replacement or just try to solo host for a little bit, but that's going to be interesting to watch. And then, what are they going to do about Home Story Cup and BlizzCon and all these major events all throughout the year that In Control has been just indelibly part of for so long?
Yeah.
Don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So rest in peace, In Control. We'll miss you, buddy. Hope you're hanging out with Total Biscuit, wherever you guys are. And if not, that's fine too. All right. Well, what else do we have to talk about today? There was a very nice Discord message that was sent to me from Somicron yesterday.
What was there? I don't remember that.
I mean,
I'm looking at it, but I don't remember it.
So I've been really bothering Somicron for a while to play The Last of Us, which is a, good golly, 2010-11 video game.
Mm-hmm.
For the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox and whatever else it was on. I think those are the two.
The PlayStation 4.
Also the PlayStation 4. Oh, no, it's a PlayStation exclusive. I remember being mad about that when it first came out. So, yeah, definitely PlayStation 3. And then they remastered it for the PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I really loved it a lot. It's like one of my all-time favorite campaigns I've ever played through in my entire life. And I was like, hey, Somicron, you should play this. And I kept bugging him about it. And he was always like, nah. And then he, like, twisted the dagger further by saying, oh, you know, I think my roommate has it. I've got a PlayStation right here, but I was like, wow. It turns out it was his brother that had The Last of Us. I was wrong about that detail. But point being, Somicron was really twisting the knife.
Yes, I was.
Yes.
And so I finally caved after such immense pressure. I picked up a PlayStation 4 and a copy of The Last of Us Remastered.
Holy smokes. He sent that to me with a single message of, all right, fine, period. So he was really reluctantly getting this thing started, and I didn't pressure him. I didn't say you have to finish it in 24 hours or anything like that. I just said yes.
Yeah. I started to set it up, and I'm like, well, where do I want to put it? And that actually just turned into like an afternoon of rearranging my office slightly. So it is still like I've set the PlayStation up, as you can see in the image. It's updated and stuff. The game is not out of its wrapper yet, though.
So we're closer, though, is what you're saying.
We're closer. I now just actually have to unwrap it and play it. Some other stuff came up which derailed my day, and then that night I had D&D, so I could not play it then.
Gotcha.
Right. Yeah.
How was D&D? Was that a good experience? Did you die?
Okay, so last year in December for my mate's birthday, I went around, we were having like a barbecue. And we're all sitting around inside, and I was leaning back in like one of those plastic yard chairs, right?
Yep.
And I was laughing, and I leaned back, and the leg snapped.
I mean, as they do, plastic
Right.
Yard chairs and all. Mm-hmm.
Right, because they're crap. They've been sitting outside for like a year or more.
Yeah.
And so fast forward to like 3-4 weeks ago, a month ago, we were starting to do D&D, and we were sitting on his, like, he had newish chairs, new to him but not new, and they're like wooden, and the DM goes to sit down. It's the DM's house, and he sits down on one and it breaks. and so we've had this like running joke of like, oh, we're gonna get new chairs and tables. I'm like, I'm just gonna get them for you, because the rest of the chairs are all kind of falling apart as well. And
right.
I'm a bigger person, and I've already had the unfortunate experience of breaking one of this guy's chairs.
Just rather not go there again.
Right, so I'm like, every time I sit down, I'm like, please don't break, please don't break, please don't break.
It's like anxiety. It's the sitting down act. Yeah.
And so we go to D&D, and one of our players, she just got like super busy when we were like about to start the campaign. So she hasn't even turned up to a single session. Like 3 sessions in, hasn't showed up to any of them. But that's fine. One of the guys just got a job, and so he was late. We're supposed to be there at 4. 4 is when we start. We decided, because he wasn't going to get there till like 7:30, that we would meet him at dinner. Like, we would, instead of doing like a proper section, we'll play a little bit with me and my brother and the DM. 2 people and the DM.
Yeah.
Compared
Interesting. Okay.
Right. So we play a little bit, and we left off having just woken up on like sleeping on the side of a hill, and there was like, we see a group of orcs coming to find you because we just attacked their camp last night and ran off when we realized we couldn't handle all of them.
And you ran away and then camped.
Camped. And when we woke up, 2 people were missing because they weren't there. Right? Because there was the players that couldn't be there.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, one of them was also my housemate. So there was a person who hasn't shown up for a single game. Her character has not been even introduced yet. So there should have been 5 of us. There was only 2. And in a fight between 3 orcs and the 2 of us, neither of us are like the get in close. So neither of us wanted to tank.
Yes, obviously.
And I ended up burning all of my spells at like 8 o'clock in the morning. And then it's like, what do you want to do for the rest of the day? I'm like, I wish to do nothing. Right? Because I get into a fight, I'm screwed.
Yeah, it's like, I would like to hide under a rock for a while.
For some reason, my character has a 7 intelligence.
Yes, I do recall this story.
10 is a baseline, so a -2 penalty. I decide I'm going to investigate that scout, that orc camp again.
Okay, so hold on. Help me out here. You wake up. Most of your party is missing.
And we instantly basically get attacked. Yeah.
And then you get attacked.
Yeah, and then we managed to beat them, but I'm like,
Tapped
out. I'm like, half dead. Can't really do much. Like, my features are basically spent. And I go, you know what? Let's go have a look in the camp.
Because hold on. Did the orcs like stealthily kidnap your party members, or did they abandon you? You have no idea at this point.
I mean, in game, I have no idea, right? But the DM was basically just saying, yeah, they disappeared from reality, right? Like, the way he described it is their existence never happened.
Whoa, that's different. That is very different from their missing. This is retroactively, they've been removed from the universe.
Yeah, so we're wondering how we even got here.
Yeah.
Although,
orcs.
but we're told the event still happened, right? So we just it's the DM just being like having a joke, and like we're just not worried about it until we can actually get all of our party members to show up. We weren't even like starting a campaign. We were just like, all right, let's do like a mini LOL playing session to get everyone familiar with the rules. So the campaign hasn't started, but it has.
Okay.
And for some reason, we decided to go and investigate the orc camp again.
Did like your DM force you to roll on should I go investigate the orc camp when I have no spells?
No.
So what then? How? What?
What did we do? Well,
how did this decision get made?
I started walking.
But you wanted to do nothing.
Well, no, I mean, because I'm playing the game. I can't do nothing.
Oh. Okay.
Right? Like, I technically could have just been like, I sit there for 8 hours, and then I sit there for 8 more hours, and then I eat some of my rations, and then I go to bed.
Maybe you walk in the opposite direction over the orc camp is.
Yeah, but why would I do that?
Because you don't have any spells.
But we've been paid by the mayor. Well, we're going to be paid to clear out the orcs, so we got to kill them.
Sure. Yeah, but again,
and if I walk away, I just have to walk
any
back.
Spells.
But if I walk away, I have to walk back.
Okay, fine. All right, whatever. I'm gonna just move on from this.
7
so you
intelligence.
decide to investigate the orc camp with your 7 intelligence. Got it.
Yep. And the rogue. So in the middle of the day, we find there's one orc on guard, and it appears like there's a couple people going in and out of the main hut. Using his bow, we kill out the one sentry that's left, and sneak in. And we see that everyone's in this like one big main hut. And when I say hut, do you think wooden floor or dirt floor? Just out of curiosity, because this comes up.
The word hut means dirt floor.
Okay, that's what I thought. Because there was a wooden wall around the hut. And I say, okay, give me a boost over. And I start using a cantrip, prestidigitation, to start lighting the hut on fire with small campfires.
Nice.
Right? And later, they give me grief about not setting like the door on fire. I'm like, there's no door. It's a hut. It's got a hole in the side of the building. And they're like, yeah, but you could have set the floor on fire. I'm like, the dirt floor. And like, no, it's got a floor. I'm like, that's not a hut. And so they were giving me grief that the fires that I make just causes them all to run out of the building instead of like trapping them in there like I would have wanted.
I mean, okay.
Or smoke inhalation or burning them, right? So
hang on. When you say everybody's in the hut, nobody's standing guard at all. Like literally everyone's in the hut.
Yeah, literally everyone's in the hut.
All
the
right,
night before, we had killed about 11 of them, right?
Yeah. All right.
But, so there weren't many people left, and then like a small raiding party come out to try and find us the next morning, which was the 3 we had found earlier.
Yeah, all right.
And we ended up getting in a fight with 4 orcs and the chieftain.
Right, of course. He's in there. Where would he be? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we both take like 1 hit each, and a great axe from an orc does 1d12 damage plus 3.
Yep, makes sense.
I had
It's hard.
I had like 17 health.
Okay.
So I go
So
down.
you're not dead.
I'm not dead. I take one hit. I'm like down to like 6.
Yeah.
The other guy takes like one hit. He's down to. Well, I think he takes 2 hits, and then he's down to like 4. And then, for some reason, all the orcs start missing. And I'm gonna assume maybe the DM was fudging some dice rolls. Entirely possible. It's entirely possible. Our ACs are not low. They're 15 each.
Yeah. So dodging is not really part of your repertoire. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, they're not like the AC is not low, so we like, if it's entirely possible that if they roll anything like less than a 10, they just miss because I think they only have like a +5 to hit.
Okay.
Which is really good comparatively.
Yeah.
So it's like a 50-50 shot to hit us. So I don't know if the DM was fudging rolls or not. He might have been. We after we kill all of them, we start like loading up on all their gear. Like, what did they have? They had this and this, and we find like what we think is a magical greatsword.
Okay.
And then we go, okay, let's head back to town and sell this. And we get like halfway back to the town, and we're like, all right, we have to rest because it's getting late. And we rest, take a long rest, and then we go out for dinner, right? Like the group, not like party in the game. Like the group says, okay, the other guy's almost back from work. We're gonna meet him at this restaurant for dinner.
Nice.
So we go out and we have lovely burgers, which is very, very, very good. And then we get back to the game. And there was a river that we needed to cross, but when we crossed it the first time, we maybe accidentally destroyed the bridge.
How?
It was like old and dilapidated, and the guy wearing heavy armor walked over it.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
With great armor comes great responsibility. Mm-hmm.
So we start like there were these logs on the side of the riverbed or something. We start like laying them across the river to try and like mini dam it.
Yeah. Intelligence 7 bridge. Got it.
It worked, okay? Screw you. It worked.
There are these logs. We're going to put them across the water. Mm-hmm. Right, continue.
It's not a huge river. It's like 30 feet or something.
Holy crap! What the heck is a... I mean, all right, fine. There are bigger rivers, but 30 feet is a legit river.
Hold on. I have my... 30... What's 30 feet? It's like 10 meters. Yeah, 9 meters. That's... Yeah.
It's a river.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't too deep. Maybe there was like a rock or something in the middle that we had precariously balanced the first one off, and then the next one was across. I don't know.
Whatever,
the DM,
fine.
The DM,
it worked.
It worked. We got across. The cleric in his heavy armor took like 4 steps and fell off, and then swam the rest of the way. So
in heavy armor.
Yeah.
By swam, you meant walked, because you're not swimming in that stuff.
No, he apparently swam in heavy armor.
Wow. Okay.
Like
this is impressive.
It was, I think it was an acrobatics check to walk across the rickety log bridge. He rolled a 4. And then it was an athletics check to swim, and he rolled like a 19. So.
Oh, wow. He was suddenly possessed by the power of 10 men, and he swam to safety.
Well, acrobatics is a dex check. Athletics is a strength check. Guess which one
It
he
is.
was good at.
Yeah, no, I get that, but heavy armor strong enough to break bridge by merely walking across it.
Old dilapidated
Also
bridge.
can swim in it. Very nice.
Mean, he swam across it. Like when the bridge broke, he ended up swimming the last little bit there as well.
Oh, all right. Well, okay, fine. This is swimming heavy armor. Got it.
Well, actually, I think he described as he took off the armor. He did mention something about as part of his like background, one of the things he could get was swimming gear.
I feel better about that. Okay.
He was still carrying his heavy armor. He didn't leave it on the other side. What's the difference between wearing heavy armor and carrying it when you're swimming?
Probably not much. Thinking about it.
Yeah. I mean, the armor might restrict some movement, which would be helpful for swimming. Like, if you couldn't quite go arm over arm, but you still have the weight in a backpack or something. So,
anyway.
Eventually we get to town and we go and confront the mayor, and get some more gold out of him than he's supposed to give us. And the DM hasn't really prepared as much as we want, because I mean, he has prepared some, but he doesn't really like get some of the, like when a DM plays, they often rely on the collective knowledge of the group. So it's fine if he doesn't know everything. But we went and found a blacksmith, and I was like, "Can I get you to improve my rapier, my sword?" And the DM goes, "Fine." And I'm like, out of game, like mechanically speaking, I want a +1 rapier, so it would require like enchanting. And he goes, I can probably do that by tonight, right? If you wanted to pay for a rush job. And I'm like, okay, how much would that cost? We just got paid 500 gold and sold all the armor and swords and stuff, so I had like 1,700 gold on me.
Yeah.
And the book roughly says an uncommon item, such as like a +1 weapon, about 500 gold.
Okay.
The DM goes to me, all right, yeah, rush job, that'll be 5 gold.
He broke his own economy.
And so I'm looking at the DM, and he goes, wait, that doesn't sound right. And I explained to him proper magic cost, and we try to like bargain and say like in the orc's great hut or whatever, we found like a magic great axe. Well, we think it's magic, and we were like, look, if you give us all our weapons and stuff, we'll pay you 1,100 gold, and we have someone identifying the item tonight. If it's good, we'll throw that in. If it's junk, we'll pay you 400 extra gold tomorrow. And the reason why we sold the weapons and armor to like back to the city, right? Because we're at the mayor's office, and they need guards, armor, and stuff. But they didn't want the axe because, not the axe, the sword, because they're not a shop, right? Like, they're just there to give out standard weapons and armor to the guard. So
yeah,
they took our standard stuff. But we go to the blacksmith, and we're like, oh, we'll give you this magical greatsword. And he's like, I'm not really a shop. I'm just here to make weapons and armor for the guard. I'm like, what? Who in this town can I sell goddamn swords to? Every person I come across doesn't want to buy my swords.
Seems like a market inefficiency here. Come on.
Yeah, and then that was kind of it, because it was like 10 p.m. But so that's basically everything that happened. But as we were like packing up, I leant back in my chair, my plastic yard chair, and the back 2 legs snapped.
Kabam! Nice.
Yeah, on the floor. And the first thing I do is I look over to the right, because I was holding my freshly acquired Hero Forge custom mini that I had made with my character. Snapped off an arm.
No!
Yeah.
Right arm or left arm?
Right arm.
That's rough.
He was holding his sword.
Was he right-handed? Okay.
Yeah, he was
Brutal.
right-handed. Yeah. And the base broke, and then I went to stand up, and I put my palm of my hand down beside me to like push myself up onto one of the jagged pieces of plastic and cut a tiny little hole in my hand as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in other words, no more plastic chairs.
No, and I've basically told him that we're going to IKEA this weekend, or I'm just having a new chair shipped to your house. I don't care.
I don't know if this is different in Australia or not, but I'm not sure that IKEA furniture is known for its incredible toughness and ability to withstand things. Like, isn't IKEA just kind of like cheap furniture?
I mean,
a step up from plastic, yes. I will not argue that.
You can sit in a chair, an IKEA chair, and not be worried it's about to break in half if it's brand new, right? I don't have to pray to the gods and say, please don't break, please don't break, please don't break, when I sit down in it, right?
Maybe.
Comparatively, it's a step up.
Yes, absolutely, without question.
Yeah, so
okay.
Hopefully next week I won't have that problem.
Sounds like an improvement.
Mm-hmm.
You can focus more on your D&D when you're not worried about dying, so that's good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. True.
I'm still laughing at your DM being like, 5 gold for a +1 weapon.
Yeah. Can I get a +2 weapon for 10 gold?
Yeah, that seems fair. Let's do that.
And instead of the 5,000 it recommends.
That's a steep price. Better be
Yep.
worth it.
Well, it's a +2 to hit and +2 to damage.
Ooh, okay, that is good.
Yeah.
How fast
and-
is the swing on it?
Well, one action. Like, what do you? What do you? So.
I don't know. Is there not like weapon speed? It's just like everybody hits once per round.
No.
Oh.
If you have like a dagger, you can't make more attacks with it than a greatsword. But it could be enchanted as such to allow for a multi-attack. Like you could, depending on the nature of the enchantments upon it, you could do something like that. Yeah.
You should look into this.
It'd be pretty expensive, probably.
Okay. I mean, but if your DM is letting you get enchantments for 5 gold, it shouldn't be that bad.
He's not. He's like,
We fixed it.
we fixed it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough then.
Yeah, it was a fun night. I got home at like 11:45, so it was like, I was looking at my phone and it was like, hey, you've got an alarm to wake up in 15 minutes.
Ooh, that's not a good alarm at all. That's I'm not even bothering alarm.
And that was like, I don't have work tonight, so I'm just turning that off and I'm going to bed. No, actually, I was washing out my wound and then I went to bed.
Yes, important. You don't want to get infected and die from your D&D figure.
Yeah, no.
You could be honest in your obituary if that happened.
I hope so.
He fell on his D&D figurine and died. It's like, wait, what?
If my D&D figure stabs me through the heart, I want people to know. I want
The dangers.
The dangers of D&D. I hope that little bastard gets the chair.
The little tiny figurine chair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not even
You know-
electrocute plastic is the problem, or whatever he is.
It's plastic. The problem is, I think I was looking at the figure. On Hero Forge, you can customize it. So he's got like a sword raised in one hand, his loot in the other hand, his clothes kind of tattered. He's got like a smirking grin. But I also was like, I'm going to put a little die, just like as an accessory. There's a die behind him, a D20. And I was like, well, judging by the way this campaign's already going, I'm going to make it a 1. So this guy literally had a natural 1 on him, and I think I may have cursed myself.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful with those curses, man.
Mm-hmm. They're legit things.
Yep, came true. Unassailable evidence that it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll keep that in mind. Anyway, what I've been doing recently is watching more Steins Gate.
Oh, yeah.
So I like it. It's time travel, and like stuff changes, but they're doing it in a way that I really enjoy. So, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't watched Steins Gate but wants to. I'm going to talk about this for the next couple minutes, okay? Okay. So, bottom line, they developed the ability to send emails back in time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, at first, they're just all frivolous with it. They're like, well, I should send myself an email back in time saying that I shouldn't get this ice cream because it's bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they just do a bunch of it. They let other people come in, just like random acquaintances they know. They're like, can I send one of these? I'm like, sure, no problem. Like, whatever. And then one of the people starts noticing that stuff's changing, right? Stuff in around them is changing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the only one who notices.
Okay.
So, like, for everybody else, I don't know, it's always been this way. What are you talking about? And for him, it's like, this cafe used to be a maid cafe, and now they sell ramen. Now it's a ramen shop.
That is an abomination. Maid cafes are wonderful.
Right. And he's freaked out. He's like, what happened? And everybody's like, what are you talking about? This has always been a ramen place. He's like, no. So anyway, so he figures out, and then, okay, and so then after all this, they're like, there's this raid of this secret, scary organization. They don't even know who they are. They raid these people and kidnap everybody and murder one person, like the person that the main character considers his little sister, basically. She gets shot and killed.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, snap. So in the meantime, they've developed this ability to actually, well, theoretically, send a person's memories back in time a little bit, but not a whole lot, like 48 hours.
This sounds a lot like X-Men Days of Future Past.
Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So anyway, he manages to like escape these people, and this has been untested. It's untested technology, but he's like, whatever, I don't care. I need to save this girl. So he tries it out, throws himself back 48 hours, and it works. And no one else is aware that anything even happens. And he basically spends the next while trying to save her from getting killed. Mm-hmm. But no matter what he does, she dies every time.
Oh, okay.
Like, right? So like he grabs her, they run away in a car accident and she dies. Or right, that he's going to take a train and get out of the city and someone pushes her, like it's an accident, she gets pushed in front of the train and dies. So he just lives this over and over and over, experiencing her death and then jumping back and trying it again, and he is just going insane because he can't save her and he can't stop this.
So it's a cross between X-Men Days of Future Past and Days of Tomorrow, or
Days of Tomorrow?
Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah. Kind of is. Okay. Oh, that was good too. So anyway, he basically gets some help from somebody who is also a time traveler, yada yada yada. But he figures out that all of the time emails that they sent to the past screwed up the timeline and created this reality, which includes his little sister dying. And the only way to stop this from happening is to undo all the stuff they did.
Right.
Right. So he's on this mission to undo every single one of these emails that people sent.
It feels like a very easy fix just to send an email back to yourself saying, "Don't use this machine, you moron." Right? Like if you just send that message to say, "Hey, don't let random people use this, or don't use it at all."
Yeah.
Surely that would do it.
Except part of the problem is, like, are you going to believe a random email that you get?
Well,
right?
I mean, the premise is people have already been believing it.
Yeah. Sometimes they haven't. Sometimes they haven't.
Okay. Well, I mean,
like in cases where they believed it, stuff has changed, and in cases where they haven't, whatever. Right.
I mean, can you send attachments? Can you like send a video of your? Okay.
No, it's text only.
Text only. Surely,
Yeah.
I think I could prove to me that I'm me, and then I could believe me because I would believe me. Right. Like you could write out being like, "Hey, this one time, you know, you did this, this, and this on this day." Right. You've never told anyone that.
Right.
You know,
and then you're like, holy crap, no one else knew that. I'm going to believe this email.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you. And I mean, the point of the show is not that it's impossible, but that it's more difficult than you would think to accomplish this.
Okay.
Right. So that's where they're going with it. So I don't know. I enjoy it. I think it's because at this point, they are seeking to undo the changes that were made. And kind of set it back to where it was, which I feel like is an acceptable use of time travel. But then the whole point is basically to stop the world from being taken over by this scientific organization. It's a weird premise, but they basically turn everything into a totalitarian state. And so his goal is, 1, to reset the timeline to where his little sister doesn't die, and 2, to prevent this from happening.
Right.
So we haven't really gotten to that point 2 yet, which is where I think I'll get the most annoyed because, again, it's the paradox. Like, why would you try to change the future if the future never happened in the first place, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Because if the future doesn't happen, nobody comes back to tell you to stop it, and then you have no impulse to stop it, and you never do. And so why did it get stopped, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But so far, I'm okay with it. It's good. There's a lot. There's this thing in... Oh, go ahead. Ask your question. I'll say my thing.
Did you watch any of the recommendations from last week?
No, because I thought Steins Gate was like 12 episodes, and I'm on episode 26 right now.
How many episodes are there?
It's not good. Let me find out real quick.
Did you start an anime with 12,000 episodes?
I certainly hope not. It doesn't feel like it's a million episodes. It's very much like beginning, middle, end here. But... Shut up. List of episodes. Oh, good.
What? How many?
Okay. Wait, hold on. I said 26?
You did?
It goes to 23. So my numbering is probably wrong.
So, okay.
I have to check what number I'm actually on. Hold on a second.
You're on 12.
Steins Gate. This is episode... No, shut up. Shut up, advertisements. Tell me. Oh, I'm on 21. Never mind. So I'm almost done. That's
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
I-
It felt like it's almost done.
I have new recommendations.
Ooh. All right. Hit me up.
Because there was a new season of anime starting, so there's been a whole bunch of stuff like rolling out
Nice.
recently. Let me just pull these up so I can.
While you're doing that, I'm going to say the one thing about Science
Oh
Gate.
yeah, go for it.
So animes like doing this thing where there are non-verbal sounds that especially the protagonist will make to express emotion, like right? Stuff like that. And man, this show is bad at it. There is so much of this. And I'm like, look, man, I can tell what emotion you're feeling by one, your facial expression, and two, the words you say. This non-verbal, like, emoting bothers me more and more every episode. Okay. Yes! Exactly like that.
The entire podcast is just going to be me non-verbally emoting. Okay, so new shows that I've started, right?
All right. Yep.
Dr. Stone.
Dr. Stone.
Basically, the entire world gets turned like petrified, and two high school kids, one that's like a big dumb brute, and one guy who's like a real nerdy smartass egghead, both wake up 3,000 years later and begin the challenge of like returning humanity, like restarting humanity through science.
Sounds like a big challenge, but okay.
Yeah, and so the first episode is the only one I've seen because it's the only one in English.
The pictures have really big hair, Omicron.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. It's fun. It's entirely about them trying to like showing the scientific process of how these two random kids are making alcohol, and like talking about how it would have been illegal to do this in their day. But there's like a reason why they need to make ethanol to produce a thing.
Okay.
It's very fun to just watch them like go through this process and being like, have you heard of the YouTube channel like Primitive Technologies or whatever it is?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's kind of like an anime version of that.
Okay.
So far,
Starting over from scratch and developing society, right?
Right. It might change later. I don't know.
Okay.
Because first episode. The other one is called Fire Force, I think is what it's called.
Fire Force. Yep, that pulls up animes.
Yeah. So we'll come back to Kyoto in a minute, but Fire Force, it takes the idea of have you heard of like random spontaneous combustion in people?
Yeah.
There's people that burst into flames. It's like that, except as it started happening more and more, a kind of cult religion grew around it, and people
Like people have been chosen and then they explode.
No, kind of like how like these are demons, and there's now like a holy order of firefighters who are kind of like pyrotechnics and like SWAT teams at the same time.
How do you fight fires with pyrotechnics, Omicron?
Not pyrotechnics, pyrokinesis. So
How do you fight fires with pyrokinesis, Omicron?
you can put out fires with pyrokinesis if you
No,
can control the
just
flames.
fire.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
But there's like a whole thing where there's like different generations, and so there's one person she's second generation, so she can control flames, but she can't create them. And then so far in the show, there are two dudes who are third generations, and they can create flames and fire, but in different ways.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So one dude, he's got like some kind of like a knight gimmick where he walks around with like a wooden hilt and like an empty sheath.
Yeah.
And then when he draws his sword, he then creates like a plasma cutter of intense, like blue flame that's just like condensed into a sword, and he calls himself.
It's a lightsaber.
It's a lightsaber. But
Oh, I found a picture of it right here. That's a lightsaber. Mm-hmm.
it's a lightsaber. It's fun. I'm enjoying that so far. You might like
okay.
that. You might like that.
Fire Force.
The other one, I've only seen one episode, and I have a feeling this is like bottom tier. You probably won't like this.
Okay.
But the premise is okay, which is apparently like a group of kids or something get teleported into another world. Typical isekai anime bullshit.
Indeed.
But one guy, he's the only guy in his class who didn't get a lot of stat buffs and isn't like instantly a badass in this fantasy world. And
That sucks. Okay.
they go on like a training mission into this dungeon. They find like, ooh, some hidden crystal, and like one of the new buff dudes is like, I'm gonna touch it, and it instantly teleports everyone to like a lower floor of the dungeon. And the weak kid like gets like knocked off a bridge because he was weak, and one of the other classmates wanted to kill him and get him out of the way because he was like slowing them down or something. Revenge plot. But he ends up in like this cave, and there's like these monsters fighting each other and eating, and eventually he manages to escape, but he gets his arm cut off.
Ooh.
Right, like he's okay, one arm, and he finds this like healing crystal that's like slowly providing him with holy water, which keeps him alive. But he ends up eating the weak monsters to survive and gaining their strengths. And he, while he's like trapped down here, he finds basically gunpowder and uses his real world knowledge to create guns. And now he's on his way back up out of the cave to get revenge on his class.
Nice.
And start murdering them.
I would be afraid of this person who manages to survive by eating monsters and creates guns out of scratch and gunpowder. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's a scary dude.
Yep. His hair also turns white because he's an anime character. But
Of course. Mm-hmm.
yeah, he also gains some of the abilities that he gets from eating the monsters. So that's, another thing. I don't think you'll really enjoy that one. I just, like, having seen enough anime, I think it'll go to, like, a silly place, probably. But,
yeah.
I mean, I'm going to stick with it and see if it gets any good. But Dr. Stone, definitely recommend.
All right. Cool beans. I think that's a Crunchyroll for me, too. So
Cool.
Good.
I'll just say real quick, the Kyoto Animation Arson Attack.
Oh, yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Kyoto Animation is one of the best animation studios in Japan, period, right? They're all their stuff that comes out is beautiful, period, right? A Silent Voice, which I highly recommended, is one like best anime of last year, or it might have been the year before, but it's really good. There isn't a single frame on it that isn't amazing, and to also just top it off, they're also the gold standard for workplace culture in terms of animation studios. So
They don't murder their people?
yeah,
I mean, bad choice of words. They don't work their people into the ground?
yeah, they actually contract and salary their employees and give them benefits. There was a statistic that I saw that a lot of Japanese anime studios, somewhere around like the 70 to 80% of them, freelance 90% of their work and pay them $500 a month.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, compared to salary contract where they get, the roughly equivalent of like a $60,000 job.
Yeah, exactly.
So, in terms of, if you can, there's going to be a link for the support Kyoto Animation. If you can, it's important that these people get back on their feet.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's also going to be a link for In Control's favorite charity, which is SoCal Bulldogs, charity for supporting bulldogs.
Right.
Which he loved. So
yeah,
they'll be in the show notes, people.
Yep, check those out. Give it if you can.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good stuff this week. Good pod, I think. Important topics, fun topics.
Yep.
Stuff in between. But that's going to be it from us, because all good things must come to an end.